Discover is a search engine. If you want to find your perfect influencers, go ahead and click on search influencers. And the first thing you need to do is select the social network you want to search in. We currently work with Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Once you choose your social network, you're going to find over 20 filters that apply for the influencer or both the influencer and the audience. For example, we have things like the amount of followers we want to search for, the engagement, and then demographics like location, gender, age, interest, language, and then we also have brands affinity, which doesn't mean that they've worked with that brand before, but they have had some sort of affinity. Like maybe they follow that brand on Instagram or they tag them on some post. We also have lookalike, which is going to help you find influencers who have similar content or similar audience, and that's going to save you a little bit of time. Then we can search by hashtags, by keywords on the influencer description, ethnicity for the audience, and then also we can find influencers regarding their account type, regular, business, and creator, or we can choose to find only verified accounts, only credible accounts, if they have sponsored posts, and if we provide the email. Once we have selected all the filters that we want, we can go ahead and click over here on show results. All results pages are going to show the followers, average interactions, and engagement, but then the rest of the columns are going to depend on the kind of filters that you applied. You can sort your results by the amount of followers or the amount of average interactions. Check the profiles by clicking on the image or the username, and then you can see a bit of the data over here. But if you want to have a full analysis, you always have to add it to My Influencers. So in order to do that, we just gonna have to click over here. And in case we don't want to miss this search and we want to keep going through the results, we can just always do a little preview over here. This is a full analysis that we provide at the moment, in which you'll be able to find the main KPIs and all sort of demographics, interests, mentions, and all that kind of stuff. We can always close this window and keep going through our results. Once we have selected a few influencers that we have added to My Influencers, we can go ahead and switch to My Influencers module. So My Influencers is going to be your database. Over here, you'll be able to see all the influencers' metrics. In order to add influencers to My Influencers, you can either do it from Discover, as we saw, or you can add a new influencer over here. Click on Create an Influencer, add social network, and then paste an Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok URL. We give it a name, and then we're going to click on Create Influencer. That way, we're going to have access to the full analysis. Main KPIs, followers quality, which we divide followers into duffel followers and nice followers, average activity split, how their followers and the likes have been going throughout the last 6 months, interest, mentions, hashtags the influencer uses the most, influencers, brands affinity, and then demographics for the audience. We have ages, gender, countries, cities, audience interest, and audience brands affinity. Other things that you can do in My Influencers is, if you've worked with that influencer before and you already know their prices, you can type them over here and then click on Save, and it's automatically going to generate a price historical. You can also keep a notes historical. That way, you'll be able to keep all the information that you think it's useful for that influencer. You click on Save, and it's going to create a historical. In My Influencers, we also have lists. So a list has two different functions. So the first one is obviously an organizational function, because you'll be able to keep all your influences divided into different lists, which work as folders. And the other function that it has is going to give you a first estimation of how those influencers would work together. So for example, we have 5 Instagram accounts over here, and these are all their aggregated data together. So that way we're going to know what audience we're going to reach and the main KPIs we're expecting to have from that combination. Campaigns, it's going to help you manage your campaigns as fast and as easy as possible. So this is the homepage in which you'll be able to see all the campaigns that you have at the moment with the main information. And you're also going to have a calendar here on the left side to see what are the tasks for that day for all your campaigns at the moment. If we go into one of the campaigns, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to have a calendar again, but this time is only for that campaign. We're going to have a briefing on the right side, which you fill in when you create a campaign for the first time. And then here on the middle section, we're going to have a workflow. We currently offer 5 different workflows, but we always offer some customized workflows for our clients. There are 3 different ways of adding an influencer to a campaign. We can do it directly from My Influencers just by selecting the ones that you like the most. We can include a whole list that we have already prepared in My Influencers, or we can just create an influencer directly here. Campaigns work by adding tasks. So one task represents one publication. So if we click over here on task, we can create one for Instagram. So we select, for example, a photo. We enter the price that it's going to cost us and when is it going to be posted. And we can also choose the status for that post. That way, if we go to our calendar, we are going to see the post that we have due on that date. And also, this is going to help us estimate our results. If we click on estimate and we expand this window over here, we're going to first see an estimation of how many tasks we have per social network, how are we spending our money, how much money we have left, and how much money we have spent. And then we're going to have an estimation per social network. Here we're going to see what kind of task we're doing for that social network, how we're dividing our money, and then a first estimation of the audience that we're going to reach with those publications. Here in campaigns, you can work with one influencer at a time just by dragging one influencer from one step to another, or you can select multiple influencers and run massive actions like moving them to one specific step. Lastly, we have reports. This is our reports homepage in which you'll be able to see all the reports that you have at the moment, but creating one report is as easy as just giving it a name and adding your first URL to analyze. Once you've done that, you can add as many URLs as you want. And remember, you can combine Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter in the same report. Every report has 4 different tabs: summary, performance, influencer, and post. Summary is going to give you an overview of the main information for all the posts that you've added. Performance has the same sort of information, but more in detail, presenting some graphs and some more information. Then influencer is going to give you a list of all the influencers that are taking part in this report with their main KPIs. And then post is going to give you a clipping of all the posts that you added with the main information. These reports, you can always print them, which is going to give you a PDF version of that report, or you can share them with anybody out of the platform.